the Chiefs cannot make this mistake in 2026. Plus, you're going to help me pick the top 10 big board for the Chiefs, and we're going to do it together. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to All Chiefed Up podcast, number one podcast for that ass. Welcome back. Welcome in. It's just going to be me tonight. Steve is not with us. He is at work. He's a working man these days. He's going to be at work all night. So I said, look, I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to have some fun with our people. We're going to pick a top 10 big board. We're going to talk about some mistakes the Chiefs made last year, and one was glaring. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But before we get going, let's give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight's episode, DraftKings.
The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. All Chiefed Up has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. New customers can even turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. So sign up using our promo code ACU, and again, new customers who bet $5 can turn that into $300 if your bet wins, paid out in bonus bets. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk about the Chiefs making some mistakes in 2025, and there is one particular mistake in 2026 they cannot make again, and you guys are going to help me pick the Chiefs top 10 big board for February, and we're going to kind of do this. This is something I come up with. I think you guys can help me pick the top 10 since we're going to pick in the number 9. We'll pick a top 10 big board, and we'll call it February's big board. Then when March gets here, we'll readjust it. I think that's a cool idea. And then when April comes around, we'll do it again. We'll do this together once a month going into the draft to see how close we are to the Chiefs big board and what that may look like. So we'll do that in just a little bit. Also, if you haven't noticed yet, there is a goal up tonight. 15 super chats, just at $1.99, $2, I think, or more. And you are going to be, everybody that donates is going to be thrown in and get a chance to win a Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And this is hard. I can't get it to focus, but it's an amazing trading card from Panini, Treasured Tandems. So we'll throw that out to one person that donates tonight. And, yeah, just trying to get you guys involved. Help me out a little bit because Steve is not with me. So it's just me. So let's just jump right into it. Look, there was one big glaring problem with our offense this year besides the run game. And I think it come down to, and I know you guys are going to agree with me, and I think this even crosses into the defense. I think the big glaring problem for the Chiefs in 2025 is that we prioritized status and roster hierarchy. I think that's where I want to go. Status and roster hierarchy over production in 2025. That's exactly what we did. And in 2026, that cannot happen. It cannot happen again. And the glaring problem of where they did this the most, in my opinion, was Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton was a guy that was given a chance by Brett Veach, and he came in the offseason, and he absolutely became a camp darling. We've had these before. We've had Justin Ross do this every season. We had Louis Rees-Zammit come in and do it last year, right? This happens. Carson Steele, I think, did it one year and got everybody hyped up. This year it was Tyquan Thornton, and Tyquan Thornton actually took it into the regular season. So we seen him yesterday come out. He did an interview with 810, and he said that he would like to be back with the Chiefs, but he wants to go to a team. And you may have heard this already, and it's cool if you have, because I want to hear your opinion. He said he wants to go to a team where he gets his fair share of targets. A lot of people took that a few different ways. He's not a team player, blah, blah, blah. I think it makes sense. And I think this has been something that the Chiefs have dealt with for years, going back to almost Patrick Mahomes' entire time being with the Chiefs. Our offense prioritizes lots of things that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like we need a prima donna wide receiver that has to get every single target, but I think with the bad usage of wide receivers, that we've had over the past few years, I think that has been a problem. I think that's why you can't get good wide receivers to come in and want to play with possibly the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. You haven't been able to pitch the idea that you can come over and chase a ring. It's not really happening. Like, we get these mid-tier guys on one-year deals, and I get it. That's probably all Brett Veach can A, afford, and B, this is just how he does it. But you've seen some problems with D-Hop. They didn't know how to use him. They wouldn't use him properly. I don't think he wanted to come back this past year, and I think that's why he ended up with the Ravens. We've just seen this time and time again, and I think it's a problem. And I think Tyquan Thornton said it out loud finally for the first time. But Tyquan Thornton was fully capable of making this offense be a juggernaut down the field, which is what Andy Reid said he wanted to do. And I mean, if you just look at it, over the first 5 games of the season, this Rashee Rice is injured or suspended. My bad. He's suspended. He can't play for the first 7 games. You had Xavier Worthy, who was injured in week 1. So he missed, I want to say, the remaining of week 1, week 2. He may have missed some time during the season with an ankle injury at one point. I don't remember how many he missed total, but I want to say it was probably 2 or 3 games at least. We didn't play Jalen Royals. We drafted him, didn't play him. They couldn't get his Tylenol, Advil prescriptions on par, so we had to deal with tendonitis the whole year. And I honestly think that was a cover-up for Andy Reid not wanting to play him. You had Juju Smith-Schuster, who he had a stretch or two, a game or two where he looked pretty decent early in the season, but he really wasn't much. Even when Xavier Worthy played, he was dealing with that injury. He wasn't very effective this year. And then you had Tyquan Thornton, who come out of camp and everybody loved him. And in his first 5 games, he gets 13 receptions for 272 yards and 3 tutties. If you keep him going at that pace over a full 17-game season, he's at 925 yards and 10 touchdowns. That is insane. But once Rashee Rice comes back, the Chiefs just decide to go away from him, even though he could help Rashee Rice. He could have helped Travis Kelce by clearing out the middle of the field and allowing them to work the underneath. In the remaining 9 games, once Rashee Rice come back, 6 catches for 166 yards, 0 touchdowns. So why did the Chiefs move away from a guy who was on pace for nearly 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns? It's just inexplicable. It doesn't make any sense. And the first thing I want to bring up is the snap count, in my opinion. I think this is a big one here. Look at the snap count versus receiving yards in 2025. Xavier Worthy, who was playing injured all season long, 645 snaps and only had 530 receiving yards. Juju Smith-Schuster, who by all means is declining in his age. He had a few good weeks, don't get me wrong, but he's not an elite wide receiver in this league. 620 snaps, 345 yards. And yes, Juju does a lot of the dirty work. I get it. A lot of the run game stuff. We'll take that into account in a minute when we look at yards per route. Okay, because that's going to tell that story. Hollywood, his first full healthy season, 551 snaps, but only 587 receiving yards. Rashee Rice, his snaps were lower because he's missed half the season, 571 yards. Tyquan Thornton only got 368 snaps, but the dude had 438 receiving yards. So he automatically, off half the snaps of Juju, outdoes Juju by almost 100 yards. He's literally almost 150 snaps behind Hollywood Brown. He's only behind him by 100 yards. Even Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is above him, by what? What is that? Like 45 snaps, essentially 47 snaps. And he's not even beating him by, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's beating him by 120 yards. Yeah, 45 snaps is a full game. So Rashee Rice may have been the only one that deserved the snaps. But if you look at Worthy, 645 snaps, 500 receiving yards. Come on, that's horrible. That's horrible production. So, you want to look at it in the run game. Well, they do different things. What about yards per route ran? Okay, that's a big one. This is the best stat to show who was actually open and productive when they run a route. Right here. This is the biggest one. Rashee Rice 2.16. I'll get it out in a second. Tyquan Thornton 1.7 Xavier Worthy 1.26, Juju 0.89. The Chiefs were playing Juju and Xavier Worthy nearly twice as much as Tyquan Thornton, despite Thornton being significantly more efficient on a play-per-play basis. It was that simple. And Tyquan Thornton's 1.7 yards per route ran is comparable to guys like Emeka Egbuka, Garrett Wilson, Romeo Dobbs. These are all names, be it through free agency or just big names on teams. Current draft picks. Emeka Egbuka just come out in the draft last year, the year before. Garrett Wilson, big money. A lot of people were saying the Chiefs should go get him. Tyquan Thornton was putting up yards per route ran at those exact numbers, but yet the Chiefs didn't want to do it. So what about the big play? Andy Reid, we got to go to the big play. Yards per reception. Tyquan Thornton is 23 yards per reception. That was insane. Xavier Worthy at 12.7, Hollywood at 12. Worthy, way smaller. Okay. Thornton, giant, 6'2", combined with 4.28 speed and ball tracking skills. At 23 yards per catch, every time Thornton touches the ball, let's just say every time he touches it, it's a chunk play. You cannot leave that kind of explosive potential on the bench in 2026. And that leads me to say this. He's not going to be on the bench if we don't sign him back. So can the Chiefs sign back Tyquan Thornton? I think that is a big one that we got to look into signing back. And as soon as I get through this little bit, I want to hear what you guys think about Tyquan Thornton. There's a lot of mixed reviews on Tyquan Thornton. Should we bring him back? Should we not? Should we just go to the draft? Should we do this? Should we do that? Look, I think 2026 free agency is a crossroads for this wide receiver room because you've got Rashee Rice that I don't know if you want to sign him to a long-term deal. Hollywood Brown's not under contract. Juju's not under contract, and I think you let both of them walk. Jalen Royals didn't even get to play last year. Like, we barely even know this guy exists. And then Xavier Worthy, he's been okay, but I'll say that he's only been okay. He's not been like this juggernaut round one wide receiver. I think me and Steve had this dude as a round 2 grade. I thought coming out of his rookie season, we could have been wrong. I think he earned the round 1 grade, but when you add last year to it, I think now you're getting back towards maybe a potential round 2 grade. And I will say, and I'll give him a little bit of slack because of the shoulder and playing through it. I think playing through toughness was a big one. I just don't know at his size if he's going to be that game changer, but here's what the Chiefs have done in 2025 that may have helped their chances of signing back Tyquan Thornton. And I think Tyquan Thornton should be signed back. I think he's every bit of earned an opportunity, and he should get the opportunity. He should come back next year paired up with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and then Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton needs to be playing that MVS role. That Justin Watson row once in MVS left. That's where he needs to play and he needs to be on the field. He is a threat. But because the Chiefs hit him on the sideline and they hit him on the bench for the entire second half of the season, basically, maybe his market value might be lower than his actual talent level. So that plays out as a good thing for the Chiefs, in my opinion. I think, again, he was brought over because he was a Veach special. He takes flyers on these guys that were drafted early and maybe didn't live up to expectations, so that's still going. And we've seen him now. He's been in the system for a year. If Casey doesn't re-sign him, he could end up on a place you don't want him. He could end up with the Raiders, somebody like that, somewhere you just don't want him because they got a lot of money to spend. We definitely don't want that kind of thing. Brett Veach just needs to lock him in. I think he needs to lock him in. He's a starting caliber vertical threat, and I think he needs to get that in KC. And so, again, when he's not even catching the ball, the speed and what you got to respect with him, he's going to clear out the intermediate area for the Kelseys and the Rices that can work that intermediate field. Worthy should be running those type of routes too. Like, we shouldn't just be sending Worthy deep all the time. Like, he needs to be, working those routes. I just think if Thornton's on the field for 600-plus snaps, if we can get him back and we can double up his snaps and get him to 600 instead of Juju, this offense has a chance to maybe get back to Legion of Zoom era explosiveness. And I think Tyquan Thornton is a big, big reason it could do that. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it in the comments. I'm going to go to the comments right now. I just want to get to you guys and see what you guys say. Kurt in the house. What's up, Kurt, brother? He says, I want him back. look, I agree. I definitely agree. We've got to have him back. Merkaba Light says only bring him back if they use him. The man deserves a shot to get paid. Absolutely. If you're going to keep him on the sideline again, then forget it. Just save your money, go to the draft, do something. But I think he's earned the right to be here and to get some targets. In my opinion, he's earned the right to be here and get some targets. Brian says this. He says Mahomes didn't have a lot of time to wait on the deep ball. Thornton may have got gypped throughout the season. That is true. But the offensive line looked a lot better this year than they did last year. I mean, I think we can all say that. And I think they should get better next year. I think a lot of that was Josh Simmons having to leave for 4 weeks. You've seen Jalen Moore step up in the first week or two. And then his play kind of diminished. Then when Josh Simmons got back, in my opinion, he did not play as well once he got back. He didn't play at the same level he did. So I don't know if his mind was in the right place or whatever. Don says to give him a contract. Jamie, I think we should keep Tyquan Thornton. Absolutely. Kurt says he'd rather have him back over Hollywood. 100%. I'm right there with you. Sammy, Royals is a perfect backup, can play inside and outside. Problem is we don't know if he could become a starter or not. And absolutely, I agree with this sentiment. This is a big look. Again, I'll say it. Andy Reid and them they chose roster hierarchy over production. They don't want to let these young guys go. And look, now that Rashee Rice, if there's anything to that, you don't want to sign him long term. Your contract runs out on Juju. Your contract runs out on Hollywood. Tyquan Thornton's hitting the open market, so he's not even guaranteed here. But we don't even know what we got. And if we draft another one, what are we getting? We may not even see him in round. You know what I'm saying? We might not even see him when the season starts. They could just bury him on the bench like Jalen Royals. Because Jalen Royals, I get it. The tendonitis, I think, was just bogus. I think that was completely bogus. I just don't think they wanted to let him run. I don't think they wanted him out there. Whether it was the offense, it was too difficult, whatever they want to come up with. I think the tendonitis was a cover for that. I absolutely do. I think that he could have been out there playing. No doubt he could have been playing about the time Rashee Rice got back, but he should have been playing before Rashee got there. That was a perfect opportunity to get that kid on the field, see what we had. And before the tendonitis and before the ankle and all that stuff that dropped him to round 4 in the NFL draft, this kid was potential round 1 talent. Late round 1 talent is what people were talking about the entire time. So we know he could absolutely do it. So I'm going to get to some super chats here. We got Greg in the house with a 5 bomb. He says, you think we will make a big free agent splash? Greg, appreciate the 5 bomb, brother. I hope you're doing good. Do I think we're going to make a free agent splash? I think we're going to try. Look, some reports just come out. I think it was Pete Sweeney come out, and I don't have Steve here to, say who? Pete Sweeney. Yeah, okay. Pete Sweeney. I think he said we're $58 million under the cap. Okay, we've talked about this. We're going to get a little bit more cap room because of the salary cap going up a little bit. So Brett Veach has got to make some big moves. He's got to make some big adjustments. He's got to work the cap. He's going to have to make some cuts. Maybe some guys you don't want. Maybe you don't want to get rid of a Mike Danham because of a decent depth, or he don't want to get rid of, maybe Noah Gray even. But there's some big cuts you got to actually consider here. And once he gets there, once the new league year turns around, he's going to be able to restructure Patrick Mahomes' deal. He's going to free up some room. I don't know how much money he's going to actually be able to free up. But if they can free up enough, I do think he's got to make a little bit of a splash. Steve thinks that he has to go out and win free agency more than in years past. Because we draft okay. I don't want to say that Brett Veach is the greatest drafter in the world because he's had some good drafts, but he's had a lot of misses too. And I understand it's a tough one. Unless you're Mike talking about wide receivers, nobody just gets it like I do. That's just the fact, Death, taxes, and Mike picking wide receivers in this draft. In every draft. I'm just joking. But yeah, I absolutely think he'll try to make a big splash. I think it could be Breece Hall. I really do. I think that he may go after Breece Hall. But we could be priced out of Breece Hall too. So I'm not really, holding my breath on that one. Breece Hall could actually be, he could be tagged. The Jets have talked about that. I think Kenneth Walker, he could be tagged. I think Kenneth Walker is a very good option in free agency. Travis Etienne hits the market and those other two guys are, outpriced on, I'm fine with Etienne, but I'm also fine too. I'm also fine with going to the draft. And look, if you draft Jeremiah Love at number 9, let's just say he falls number 9. Jeremiah Love would immediately become a top 10 paid running back in this league, and he would have like $31 million guaranteed dollars. A $31 million guaranteed contract to a rookie. It's never played a snap. That is one reason that taking a running back in the top 10 is a little scary. But Jeremiah Love is a blue chip prospect, in my opinion. I think he's one of the 3 or 4 best players in this draft, hands down. I wouldn't mind taking him number 9, but that's a lot of money to pay. So Brett Veach may go against that. He may go to, round 2, round 3, Jadarian Price. He could look to free agency and maybe bring in some guys. I mentioned a few yesterday in my short. Tyler Batty, I think we should bring him in and just look at him. The kid played at Missouri, and he's good. I like him. Maybe he gives us some meaningful snaps, if only the preseason. Fine. The kid out of who was it? Eastern Carolina, Keaton Mitchell, that sat on the depth chart, and he's had some injury problems, but that kid was good coming out of Eastern Carolina, and he sat over there with the Ravens and didn't really get to do much. But if he's healthy, bring him in, give him a look. That's an Andy Reid guy. That's an Andy Reid system guy. Even coming out of college, we thought that. Tyler Algier, I've mentioned him a few times. He's a cheap option. He's a bowling ball type back, but he can absolutely do damage when he's given a chance. But to answer your question, Greg, I do think they'll try to make a free agent splash. Now, I don't know where it's going to be. I would assume running back. That's where I would assume. Steve couldn't be here today, but he throws out a 2-bomb. He says, come on, y'all, show Mike some love. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the sub button if you haven't. We're almost to 54,000 subs. That's pretty freaking amazing, actually, because we're one of the only independent Chiefs channel on YouTube. There's a few, and we all do a lot of work, but we're the number 1 independent Chiefs channel, and we have no help. It's just me and Steve, and if Steve can't be here, it's just me by myself, like you're watching tonight. So we're doing everything from recording to research to editing to you name it. We're here for you guys, and we do it all just for the love of it, for the love of Chiefs football. So appreciate you guys being here. Shout out Steve, putting in some hard work in, on and off the field, the proverbial Chiefs field. We got Brenda in the house with a 2-bomb. She says, I think we need Thornton back, but he has to be used. This is the overall sentiment. Like, we want him back, but we don't want to pay money to somebody nobody's going to use. So, yeah, I totally get it. This could maybe apply to a running back. And this is a lot of the reason some people are fighting against it. What if we go out and give Breece Hall that big contract, and then Andy Reid gets to a point where he just decides he don't want to run the ball as much, and now Breece Hall's sitting in the backfield with 13 carries a game? You know what I mean? Like, this applies across the board. The Chiefs coaching staff has to get a lot better with personnel and a lot of these decisions. They just got to get better. They were bad last year. They were piss poor last year at making decisions. And that almost runs from the front office down. Brett Veach and the whole decision to bring back Derek Nottie and to cut Mike Pennell and trying to add weight to Felix Anudike-Uzomah 2 years ago, trying to add weight to Omar Norman-Lott this year, knowing that we need pass rush. You shut down a guy in Omar Norman-Lott that you got in round 2 that was the best interior pass rusher, which we don't have an interior pass rusher. We needed one. And you tried to beef him up, hurt him. So now you get limited crappy production, even if he doesn't get hurt because he's out of position and gains weight. If you don't mess with him, you stole the fact that you had a good pass rusher there, and you had to go to Ashton Gelati, 260 pounds, kicking down inside on NASCAR routes. Makes zero sense. NASCAR packages, my bad. It just makes zero sense. Like, there was bad personnel across the board, and defense was huge, offense was huge, bad personnel across the board, bad decision-making by all the coaches. That Tyquan Thornton was the biggest mistake in 2025, and that is the title of this video. They can't afford to not use Tyquan Thornton again in 2026, and that comes with the preface, we have to re-sign back Tyquan Thornton. I think him and I think Leo Chanel might be right up there as the 2 Chiefs players that have to come back in 2026. That's the 2 I'd love to have back. Jalen Watson, would love to have him back too. But if you're going to re-sign Trent McDuffie to a big contract, they can't really do that. I think Jalen Watson's going to get somebody to come after him and give him a lot of money. So I just don't think – we don't pay corners anyway. Again, Trent McDuffie could break the mold. But I think I've resigned the fact that I think he could be gone. Brian Cook could come back because they're saying he could get $15 million a year in free agency. That is insane for Brian Cook. Like, I like Brian Cook, but he ain't worth that. So I think that's the same thing they were saying about Mike Dana. And then you see what happened to him. 0 interest, and he comes crawling back to the Chiefs, 3 years, like 15, 16, 17 million. That could be something that happens with Brian Cook, and then, yes, I would be fine with taking Brian Cook back, but there's no way I'm paying him $15 million per year. Just no way. So there's a lot of things here. But, yeah, Brenda, I think that is the overall unanimous thing that we have to really look at is that you have to sign him back, but you can't just sign him back for no reason. Like, you actually have to use him. You have to use them. So, yeah. Got a little bit of a train on board, baby. We got JB in the house with 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you, JB. Doing the Lord's work. We're over 200 people watching right now. If you guys get a gifted membership from JB, give him a thank you in the chat. Appreciate this cat coming in and keeping us going, keeping the lights on in the wintertime. Look, we know it's a boring time. We've almost been in off-season mode since literally Thanksgiving. So, like, it's boring right now to talk about the draft. We've been talking about it for 2 months, and we've got 3 months till the draft. I get it. Another month, 6 weeks until free agency. It is slow. I understand it, but this is where the hardcores come out to play. And, if you're a Swiftie, I'm sorry I'm going to say this, but if you're just a Chiefs fan because of Taylor Swift, this is where you go into hibernation. I get it. I understand. And I don't hold you, I don't hold it against you. But this is where the hardcores are out playing. And one of the biggest hardcores out here in the game is JB throwing out those subs. So I appreciate you, brother. Damo, been a member for 19 months. He says, I think Eric B. Enemy will have Tyquan as our number 3, no problem. Look, I hope EB sees potential here, and he has some say, and he says, look, Tyquan Thornton should have been used last year. He could be the MVS. He could be the Justin Watson. He will do it better than both. He actually catches the ball, let's be honest. He can get open. There's a lot of things to like about Tyquan Thornton. Hopefully EB comes in and says, look, I want him back. Let's get him back. Let's use him. And I agree with you, Damo. I think that'd be awesome. Ron in the house with a 5-bomb. Appreciate you, Ron. He says, I can see Tyquan Thornton ending up in Buffalo because they will pay a little more. How about Rico Dowdle at running back? He's a free agent. I'll address Tyquan Thornton first. You're right. I mentioned that. You might not want Tyquan Thornton going somewhere. He's kind of resurged his career a little bit. You don't want him in Buffalo. They need help. They've given up on Keon Coleman. They need help. They don't have it. So, yes, they could pay for a threat like that because Josh Allen throws that moon ball. He throws it. They might do it, and they may be able to pay. May see him end up, like I said, with a divisional rival. Could end up in Jacksonville. He could end up at a lot of places. I think that the Chiefs have seen him. They've kind of revived his career a little bit. Let's give him a shot to stay here. How about that? Brett Veach finally hit. Like, congratulations. You tried to go revive Kadarius Toney. You sucked. You've tried to revive several people. It's not working out. You tried Josh Gordon. You've tried Kelvin Benjamin. You've tried a lot of people here. Didn't work out. You've tried lots of people, and it hasn't worked. But Tyquan Thornton worked. And then halfway through the season, he goes to the bench, and then you're going to watch him walk in free agency? Doesn't make any sense. Like, you finally got what you wanted. You finally got what you wanted. Congratulations. Don't let him go. How about we use him? Okay, how about we use them? So I appreciate you, Ron, with that 5-bomb, brother. Only one Chief KT in the house with a 2. Says the obvious pick for number 9 is a wide receiver. Let's not overthink this. So if Tyquan Thornton comes back or not, a lot of people are still under the impression you may have to go wide receiver because there's a lot of people that think Rashee Rice could get the contract, but I'm in the camp of if I were Brett Veach, I'd be a little scared to let this guy get a lot of guaranteed money and he gets in trouble again. It's a risk. It's just a risk. So maybe if Rashee Rice goes, you have to now look to possibly a wide receiver. But I personally think there's wide receivers in round 2. I think there's wide receivers in round 3, round 4 that I think could come in and contribute in the Andy Reid system if allowed to. that may be just as good. I'm not saying they're better than Mekhi Lemon. I'm not saying they're better than Carnell Tate, and I'm not saying they're better than Jordan Tyson. Those three are, they're in the upper echelon. You're not going to beat them. But let's just look at the Arizona Cardinals, and I get it. You can say they took Marvin Harrison Jr. He was supposed to be a can't miss, best, whatever. He had a lot of drops. Now, he's in a bad offense and in a bad situation with a bad quarterback, but he's not looked too great. So, there's been other guys that have come along in later rounds. Puka Nacua, round 4, I think, round 5, somewhere like that, and then he just outperforms. So they can be found. I think you've got to trust the process. You got to trust guys that fit. So I would maybe overthink Chief KT, but I'll say this. We'll do the big board tonight, and we're going to see how many wide receivers that you guys watching this with me, we're going to rank the big board of who our top 10 players would be if we were the Chiefs in February right now, who our top 10 is going to be. We'll see how many receivers are on that board because I think personally there should probably be at least 2, maybe. We'll get to it. I'm going to have you guys vote on it. I'm going to have you guys get in the chat. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. I think it's fun. A lot of people wanted some interactive stuff like this to do with the draft, and I'm down for it. So here we go. Chiefer65, baby. Chiefer, appreciate you, brother. He said, could Tyquan Thornton be our D-Hop? As in, yes, we underutilize him and he goes somewhere else. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I think that this has been happening and nobody's just really come out and said it. But look, wide receivers by nature, are just those guys that want to be the center of attention. They want to have their end zone dances. They all want to get the Pro Bowl and the big cars and the ladies. And that's just their attitudes, man. It goes back all the way to middle school. You got a wide receiver on the team. He's the guy that wants to be the popular in the lunchroom, right? They're big personalities. Wide receivers have always been like this in the NFL. Your Michael Irvins, your T.O.s. They're always these guys. You've got to find one. It's fine they act like that. But I think Tyquan Thornton showed you that, hey, he's not just that. He sat on the sideline all year long after being successful, and he didn't make a peep. He didn't go to the media. He didn't post on social media. He didn't cry about nothing. When he was asked to go do something, he still went in and performed, and you never heard anything from him. So I think he's proven that he is a team player, and I think we need to reward him for that. And if he wants to be, if he wants to act like he's awesome, good. What did Dion always say? You dress well, you play well, you act. I don't know what it was. It was a big spiel. But still, you got to have a little confidence playing that position. And I think Tyquan Thornton has it. I don't think he lacks the confidence. I think he got a lot of it back. And I think that's fine. I really do. So appreciate it, Chiefer. Tubon from Sammy. The round 2 defensive end and DB options look incredible. Yes, I like round 2 defensive end. I think I would want to put that. I think Zion Young out of Missouri absolutely done himself incredible favors. It's possible LT Overton out of Alabama may have worked himself back into round 2. I don't know what people think about him. I kind of thought his snap, his get off on the snap was a little just weak. His first step and everything looked a little weak. But he's a Spags prototypical guy that could set an edge and whatever else. I think he had a pretty good game at the Senior Bowl. So he may have got himself back into early round 3, late round 2, depending on who it is. But yeah, I think I think the kid from Missouri did himself some favors. And I think that would be one I'd look at number 40. TJ Parker actually did really well. I think he now maybe have went from the back end of round 1, early round 2 to he may have slid into, say, maybe the 20s. So I think a lot of guys helped themselves. But yeah, DB options, there's a lot, man. Brandon Cisse, I don't know how he pronounces it. I got to go find out how he pronounces it. That kid's really coming on as being a late round 1, early round 2 pick. Steve likes Avion Terrell. I think he's more of a zone kind of guy, maybe more of a slot kind of guy, which we may need. That's fine. I'm down with it. Kevin Knowles did do a good job. Christian Roland Wallace does a good job. Anybody does better than Shamari Connor. I think I could do better than him. Let's be honest. But yeah, there's plenty of options there. I really like Derek Abney. I like a lot of these guys. I really do. I actually got my draft board right over here next to me. I'm curious who I have. Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee, I think, is probably going to go at latest, before 20 to 25, somewhere in that range. And that's big time. Monsieur Delaney, he's probably around one pick. Keith Abney. I don't know what I called him earlier. I hope I called him Keith. But yeah, Keith Abney. I think he's a good one. Brandon Cisse from South Carolina. I really like him. Surely his last name isn't Sissy, right? Boy, he'd get picked on in school a lot, wouldn't he? Let's hope for his sake that's not how he pronounces it. So I'm just going to call him Cisse. Let's hope. Again, Avion Terrell, I think he's probably a round 2 pick. There's some safeties there I really like too. I think Cassius Howe could maybe be a round 2 pick. I love Cassius Howe. I think he's got that like Spags, the anti-Spags body. Like he's the guy that's going to just be the speed rusher off the edge. But I love him. He ain't a Spags guy, that's for sure. R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, same deal, 6'2", 249. Yeah, so there's a lot. I really like Gabe Akis. I think Gabe Akis out of Illinois would be a perfect round 2 pick. A lot of people are saying he may be round 3, but I'd be perfectly comfortable taking him at number 40. Love Gabe Akis. I think he provides enough juice, and he's smart, and he can set an edge. So I really like that one. But I appreciate you, Sammy. Michael with a 5 says, could you imagine Tyquan Thornton with the help of Chad O'Shea? I want to see him with that kind of coach. Yes, exactly, Michael. I think that you do need to get him back in here, and I think that Chad O'Shea helps him even more. And I just feel like Thornton, not bringing back Thornton, is just a whiff, in my opinion. Our receiver room is pretty much in shambles. It really is. If you don't extend Rashee Rice, and I don't know how you could be 100% on board with extending him at this point. You've literally got Xavier Worthy, who you really don't know what his career is going to look like. He had a solid year 1. He had an injury-plagued down year in year 2. And Jalen Royals, who we've seen do nothing. That's who we have. So, again, Hollywood and Juju's probably gone. I just don't see, we have to bring back Thornton. I think you need more than 2 guys that have been in this offense for at least 1 year. I think you need it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Michael. I think he needs to come back. Ron with another 5 says, would you like Rico Dowdle? I'm sorry, I think Ron asked me about Rico Dowdle early, and I forgot the part 2. He did say he's open to a Dallas return. I do like Rico Dowdle. I thought he was a pretty good option. I think they're estimating him somewhere around $7 or $8 million. That may be a little too rich for what Rico Dowdle offers you. But I think anybody is Rico Dowdle is a better option than Isaiah Pacheco. So I would not be bummed about it. At $8 million a year, I probably couldn't get on board. If you can get them somewhere around $5 to $6 million, I would consider it. I don't think Chiefs Kingdom would be happy with Rico Dowdle, though. I honestly don't. I think at the end of the day, everybody's kind of behind Jeremiah Love, Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne at the least, Breece Hall. They want a big swing, and I don't know if Rico Dowdle's it. I think that feels like somebody they go after. So that's probably what you're going to get, You want McDonald's, and your mom's like, we got McDonald's at home, and Brett Veach pulls out Rico Dowdle. That's probably what it is, but I appreciate you, Ron. I do like Rico Dowdle. I don't know if the fans would love Rico Dowdle. And honestly, I would rather Tyler Algier for the money than Rico Dowdle. That may be a bad take. I'm going to stick with it. TGZ with a 5. Appreciate you, brother. He says Tyquan will stretch out to get the ball, unlike our other guys. Pay the man. Absolutely. He can track the ball. He's got the speed. He's got pretty good hands, and he tracks. He'll lay out. He'll go get it. He makes clutch plays. Was it against the Giants when he kind of dropped? He couldn't catch one, and then he turns around and catches a big one. I think that's when he done the this. And he puts his hand up. And I just punched my TV, bro. Just maybe punch my TV. I want you to know that, TGZ. I just punched my TV. I think I broke my finger. I definitely broke the TV. So I'm going to throw this 5 bomb into a new TV fund. Appreciate you, brother. Sammy back with another 2. Says draft a blue chip like Love or Downs if available. I'm right there with you, Sammy. Let's go ahead and get into the draft board. This may take me a few minutes to set up. We've been on here for about 40 minutes. Let's take about 15, 20 minutes and try to pick this draft board together, ladies and gentlemen. I found the new feature, and this may take me a few seconds to set up because I'm telling you, Boy, there's just something about it that just irks me. PFF's got it going. But let me see if I can bring it in. Let's see if it'll work. I'm going to have to be shrunk down to the bottom of the screen, which you guys probably don't care because nobody wants to see this mug any longer. I'm going to put it down here like this so I can get, there you go, the biggest one. So let's go through and let's pick the big board. Okay? Let's pick the big board and let's pick it as if we were the Chiefs. So in my opinion, and I'm going to throw these out in polls, okay? Steve also says we got 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 4 minutes to get those 5 super chats in so somebody wins one of those cards. So I appreciate you guys. But, you know, if we get it, we get it. I'm really rooting for you guys. I'm really rooting for you. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this. It's on the screen. Let me put up a poll. Who do you guys think is probably the number one player on the Chiefs draft board right now? I'm going to throw it up. Who's probably number one on the Chiefs draft board right now in February? And I'm going to say this. I'm going to just name 2 players that I think should be number 1 and 2 because of their talent. And that's going to make this a lot easier. You guys can vote on it. So I think number 1 player on the Chiefs draft board, I'm going to throw up 3. So the 3 players I'm going to throw up is Ruben Bain Jr. I think he's got to be there. He is a Spags guy through and through. I think he's just good. Jeremiah Love, I'll put on there. Is he the number 1 player on our board? I don't know. I'm going to let you guys decide. But I think we do need a running back. Depending on what we do in free agency, it could not be a thing. So I get that one. And then the last one I'll throw up is I honestly think Caleb Downs is better than all these wide receivers. So I've got to put Caleb Downs on the board because he's the best. So I'm going to start the poll. And the poll is going to be this. And I'm going to close it down in 2 minutes. And we're going to rank. So it's going to be between Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, and Jeremiah Love at who you think is the number 1 player on the Chiefs draft board. If we were picking the Chiefs draft board, who do you think the number 1 player is? And if it starts running away and there starts being a huge thing, we'll close the thing down in honor of trying to get through this top 10 draft board. But there's 50 seconds on the clock while you guys are voting. I'm going to go back in here and see. We do have 3 more supers. Beach with a 2-bomb says, if you trade McDuffie for a player, who are you wanting? Dude, if we trade McDuffie for a player? Damn, that's a good question, bro. I don't know if you could get a player out of him. I mean, I guess it's pretty rare to do a player-for-player trade with somebody like McDuffie. So good. Dude, that's a tough question. I can't even answer that, Beach. I'm sorry, brother. I hope you don't feel like you wasted your 2, but I just don't know. A player for Trent McDuffie at his value. I think McDuffie is definitely a top 3 corner in this league. So I would want, I think that would equate to a top maybe 6 to 8 pass rusher, maybe a top 10 pass rusher. Dang, I don't know, bro. That's a tough question. That's a tough question, brother. That is a tough one. You guys throw in the chat. Like, I know some people's going to be like, what about Myles Garrett? I don't think they're trading Myles Garrett straight up. Like, that's crazy. Dude, I don't know. That's wild. That is a wild question. Congratulations, Beach. You've caught me off guard, brother. You did a good job today. I can't even answer it. Don with a 2-bomb. Appreciate you, Don. Jamie with a 2-bomb, trying to get this bad boy going. And then Jamie with another 2 says, free up some cap space, bring in Hall, and draft Downs. Dude, I love everything you just said. I would be completely fine with it. I don't think anybody would argue Breece Hall in the offseason and Caleb Downs. Arguably, my number 1 player on my draft board is Caleb Downs. Hands down, I think Caleb Downs would be number 1. I honestly think I'd put Ruben Bain number 2 as we sit at February 5th. I think that's how I would do it. So here we go, man. 56%. I'm going to end the poll. 56% of the people have spoken, and they think that Ruben Bain Jr. is the Chiefs' number 1 player on their draft board. And I'm probably right there with you. I think I'm right there with you. I think Ruben Bain Jr. probably would be number 1 on the board. So let's go on to number 2. Let's go ahead and put number 2 up. At number 2, we're going to keep Love on the board. We're going to go ahead and keep Caleb Downs. And we're going to add a few more people. Let's add a receiver this time. Let's put in Mekhi Lemon. I think he may be a guy that the Chiefs would consider. I think Lemon would be considered more than a lot of these other guys, honestly. Yeah, I think so. But let's go ahead and throw... Man, yeah, let's go ahead and put Peter Woods on the board. I don't think it's too early for Peter Woods. Sometimes people have Peter Woods as a top 5 guy. So I'll say Peter Woods. Let's introduce Peter Woods into the conversation and see what he's got here. So here's the new poll coming out for number 2 player on our big board, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, Mekhi Lemon, Peter Woods. If it were me, and I don't want this to sway you guys, but I think Caleb Downs would be my number 2 player. I think him and Ruben Bain, you could probably go 1 and 2. I think they are blue chip players. I think there's 4 that I would be very, very comfortable with. Everybody else I'd almost consider a trade down. But we are sitting at February 5th. Not a big deal. So it is what it is. Let me get back over here. I don't know why it's showing something on the screen. It's not on the screen. It's just tricking me. By the way, while we're waiting on you guys to vote, I'll keep this up for like a minute or two. Tomorrow is February 6th. That's Steven's birthday. Oh, Steve, that's his birthday is tomorrow, ladies and gents. I wish he could have been on here tonight to talk with you guys. You know, it's his birthday tomorrow, and I wanted people to show him some love, but he's at work, man. He's just working. It's just one of those things, man, where he's in a work environment right now. That's all there is to it. Like, it's just constant. So, yeah, wish him a happy birthday. Wish him a happy birthday, baby. And let me get back over here. Yeah, somebody said birthday stream. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I can't get the guy to stop working. Like, they got him coming in every day right now. It's insane. So they got him just all over the map, to be honest. So let me see. Let me go ahead. Look, I think I'm about to close the poll. Caleb Downs is at 43%. Jeremiah Love's at 33%. And I think we could close the poll here. I think that's probably enough. I think we close the poll there. I think that does it. And I think that I'm safe to say Caleb Downs is our number 2 player. And I honestly think Jeremiah Love, I think, is shown high enough that he may be number 3. I think we'll go Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love. And if we want to switch anything, we could do it. But I think that's the way people would feel as of right now. So let's go ahead and jump into player number 4. So we've got Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love on the board. I think that's a very good start, and I would almost pick him. Would a lot of people put Jeremiah Love in the top 5 or top 3 even? Maybe not. But I think with the Chiefs, if you don't get a free agent running back, I think he goes there. I really do. I really do. So let's go ahead and get another poll in for number 4. So I think we got number 4 on the Chiefs big board. Let's go with let me see. On the Chiefs big board, I think we got to go with, we got to introduce more wide receivers. Let's go with Lemon again. Let's go with Carnell Tate. Let's introduce Tate. We'll keep Peter Woods on the board. I think that's smart. And let's put Arvell Reese on the board. Let's get your all's gauge on Arvell Reese. Now, is Arvell Reese going to fall to number 9? Maybe not, but I think we do have to put him on the list just in case there's a possibility. I think we need to introduce Arvell Reese into the game. And I'm seeing a lot of Baileys in the chat. And there's a lot of Jordan Tysons. Absolutely. I think those are options. Jordan Tyson, I'm going to go ahead and say he shouldn't be a top 5 player on the Chiefs big board because of injury history. I'll say that. But he can absolutely get open. I think he's a sensational route runner. Bailey, I don't think he would be on the Chiefs top 5 big board because he's too small. I think he's just too light. Spags went out of the box taking Ashton Gelati, and he's like 265, and I think he's almost 20 pounds heavier than than David Bailey, but it is possible. It is possible they could have Bailey up there. So I will introduce Bailey in the next one. I think Bailey having a potential to be at number 5, I'm fine with that. I think because if you want to rank these players, I think David Bailey does have an argument to be a top 5 player. I really do. So, okay. Mekhi Lemon's running away with it, but Peter Woods is close at 30%. So, okay, I'm going to end it. We're just going to be really fast. Like, everybody get your vote in fast because we got to end these to get through it. Mekhi Lemon's running away now. So, okay, look, Mekhi Lemon now comes on the board as our number 5. But now I'm introducing David Bailey to the game. So, here we go. So, you know what the question is, okay? So, I'm just going to write number 5. That's all I'm going to write. You know the difference. I ain't going to sit here and write stuff all night long. So, let's introduce David Bailey to the party. Okay. Arvell Reese has to stay on the board because Arvell Reese, a lot of people's putting him as a top 2, top 3 pick. He's got to stay on the board. Let's see. I think we still have to have Peter Woods here. I think Peter Woods keeps having to be on this board. I think Peter Woods still has to be here. And we'll go ahead and put Tyson on the board over. Let's put Tyson on the board over Carnell Tate because Carnell Tate did not show too well in the last one. So let's see what's going on. And it might just be too early for Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. And I'm completely fine with that as well. So number 5, we're at Ruben Bain, number 1, Caleb Downs, number 2, Jeremiah Love, number 3, and Mekhi Lemon, number 4. Appreciate you guys while everybody's voting. Hit that like button. We're at 76 likes. Okay. I definitely appreciate that. You guys are amazing. If you haven't already, subscribe. I want to do a lot more interactive stuff with you guys. I believe when we get together as a community and as an ACU crew and we do things like this, we all learn something. I learned something. I think you know where your community's at. I think you know what players we want to target. I think we all get smarter from this. I absolutely do. So I love it. I want to do more stuff like this. I want to do mock drafts like this. I want to have you guys and I want all your stuff. Like, I want you guys to have a voice here. So 100%, David Bailey has been introduced and he's running away with it. So we're stopping it. I think we're stopping it. He's at 47%. Only Peter Woods could catch him. So I think we stop the poll here. David Bailey now gets on the board as number 5. Okay. David Bailey's on the board at number 5. Okay, Peter Woods. You guys are not big on Arvell Reese. Now, I know what you could say. You could say, well, Arvell Reese, he's going, top 2 or 3 picks. We've not even thought about Arvell Reese going to number 9. I think you still got to be smart, though. You're ranking your big board. It's not who you want the Chiefs to draft. It's who that you would love. So if the Arvell Reese absolutely were to be here and we got him ranked high, you'd take him. That's how the big board works. So let's go ahead. Let's put Arvell Reese back on the board. I think he's got to be on the board now until we find a spot. So I think Reese at number 6. I'm going to introduce, I think Peter Woods might be number 6, but I'm going to go ahead and put him back on the board. Woods did beat Reese, but I'm going to put Woods back on the board. Tyson didn't do a good job. I think it may be too early for wide receivers here for you guys. So how about we introduce another defensive end? Let's introduce a Spags guy. Let's introduce Keldrick Falk. And how about we introduce no, I think you got to get back to the wide receiver. Let's put Carnell Tate back on the board. I think there has to be a wide receiver besides Mekhi Lemon that could come up possibly. So we're running it back with Carnell Tate since Jordan Tyson didn't do well. So let's see what we got here, ladies and gents. Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, Mekhi Lemon, David Bailey. So, yeah. While you guys are doing that, somebody look, it says we only had 14 super chats out of 15. We may have not got that in time, but I think you guys have got 15 super chats. I think you're there. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, you only got 14, but JB did gift 5 subs. So I'm counting it. So I'm going to give away I'm going to give away this Mahomes Travis Kelce card. I'm going to give it away right at the end of the stream. Everybody that super chatted, you're going to go on the list, and I'm just going to have Nightbot pick something off to the side, and I'm going to tell you who won this bad boy, and that's how we'll do that. So I appreciate everybody that donated. You can still donate before it's over with. I'll try to get to it, and we're going to try to get this done here in the next 5 or 6 minutes so you guys can go have dinner. You guys can watch your TV. You can do whatever you need to do, and I appreciate you guys being here. So let's go ahead, see what it's looking like, see who's going to be the number 6 player on our big board. And once you guys put this out, we're going to tweet this out. So if you're on X, go follow us, retweet this. I'm going to put it out that our ACU crew has projected this is the Chiefs' top 10 big board going into February. I think that's kind of cool to see where you guys gauge. So Peter Woods has won this one. 100% Peter Woods is on the board. And again, Arvell Reese, you guys picked him dead last. You guys are hating on Arvell Reese. This is wild. Chiefs fans hate Arvell Reese. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so Peter Woods is on the board now at number 6. I've got to keep putting Reese on the board. He's got to be here. He's a top 10 player in this draft. There's just no doubt about it. But where's he set on the Chiefs? I guess that's what we're finding out right now. So number 7, Reese is back on the board. We're not putting Mendoza, the quarterback, back on the board. A quarterback is not being on the Chiefs draft board. So yes, he is going to get drafted. Sammy says Reese doesn't fit the Chiefs. I don't think he does either. But I also don't think David Bailey fits the Chiefs. And I get it. They're two different players, but they're still the same body type that's going to end up doing the same role in the NFL. I don't think Arvell Reese is being drafted to play linebacker. Arvell Reese is being drafted to rush the passer. I absolutely think that. So I'm going to keep putting them on here. It is what it is. Jordan Tyson, I'm going to throw back on the list. I think Carnell Tate is back on the list. And we're going to put Keldrick Falk back on the list. I think that's going to be the next. We're going to run this at number 7. I think this is a good matchup for number 7. Perry with 5 gifted. Appreciate you, Perry. Perry, gosh, that's awesome, brother. Can't say enough about that. I appreciate that, brother, so much. Marshall, welcome to the crew. Beach, welcome to the crew. You received a membership. That's amazing, by the way. And I'm sorry I couldn't answer that question for you, Beach. I mean, that was a tough one. Lobo Dons with a gifted membership. Appreciate you, brother. Tano Stang, a member of the ACU crew, and Kevin Priester. Appreciate you guys. Welcome to the crew. We're going to do a members only here in a few days. So may do that on Saturday night. Might get together and do a members only. We're going to give away some stuff. So you guys are now going to be eligible to win some stuff. So I love that for you. Okay, let's see what we got here. Arvell Reese is finally at the top of the board. Him and Carnell Tate are battling it out. And now Falk, we got a 3-way tie at 26%, ladies and gents. Somebody's got to come in and do this. We're at 39 votes. We've got, how many people are watching? There's 215 people watching on all platforms. And maybe more than that, because I don't even get to see the amount of people watching on X. I don't get to see the amount of people watching on Facebook. I only get to see YouTube. So there's only 215 people watching on YouTube or something like that, I think. 30% now goes to Carnell Tate. Reese and Falk are at 26%. Whoever wins out of Reese and Falk, I'm putting them on as number 8. So I'm going to let you vote for a few more minutes. The top 2 here is going at 7 and 8. Because we're getting into the same kind of player territory. So I think this is the way to do it. At 50 votes, I'm stopping it. There's 45 votes. I need 5 more votes. If you haven't voted, throw those out. Let's go. We're at 46 votes. Carnell Tate's still in the lead. Still in the lead at 46 votes. We're at 47 votes. And Arvell Reese just picked up more. That's wild. Okay, I think I'm going to end it. I think we end it here. Tate and then Reese is how we'll do these. I think that's fair. So let's put Tate on the board. I like that one. I think that's a good one. Tate on the board at number 7, and I think we'll go Arvell Reese. I think that's fair. Arvell Reese is still a top 10 player, but like Sammy pointed out, maybe Arvell Reese isn't a guy that the Chiefs would love. Everybody telling Steve happy birthday. Appreciate y'all, guys. Appreciate you. Brian Parris says $25 Zarda gift card. That is a good idea. We may start getting Zarda to send us some gift cards. We'll send those out. I think that's a good idea. So I think that's awesome. Let's go ahead and let's try to get to players number 9 and 10. I'm going to put 4 on the board. I'm going to introduce a new player this time to see what you guys think. That way we'll get an idea. So let's look at let's see, we're on number 9. Let's do this. Number 9 player on the Chiefs big board. Let's go ahead and keep Jordan Tyson on the board. I think he still should be on the board. Absolutely. Let me see. We'll put Keldrick Falk back on the board. He's been doing decently well. Let's introduce a few more players. Let's introduce a corner. How about that? I don't think we should get a corner, but just in case Trent McDuffie were to get traded, and there's a lot of people saying a corner. I'm going to put McCoy. I'll put McCoy / Delaney. And if the corner wins, we'll decide who the corner is there, because those are consensus 1 and 2 right now as of February. Those are probably consensus 1 and 2. So we'll do that. And then let's add a new guy to the board. Let's add another defensive tackle here to the board. Let's add Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech, who is an absolute game changer, game wrecker that blew up the Senior Bowl this week. And I'm actually going to put him on the board with another dude as well, and that's going to be Caleb Banks, the other defensive interior player. So these guys are going to be slashes. If those win, we'll poll those and see who you guys like out of those. But here we go. So we've got our top 8. Just to recap right here, this is your guys' big board as who you think the Chiefs are going to take, and I think it's pretty sweet right now. Ruben Bain at 1, Caleb Downs at 2, Jeremiah Love at 3. I absolutely think those are the 3 best players in the draft as we sit on February 5th. Mekhi Lemon, I do think, is the best wide receiver fit for the Chiefs. So I think you guys are definitely showing that you know ball right now. David Bailey is a good player. I do not mind putting David Bailey at number 5, even though he may not fit the Spags mold. Peter Woods, I think, is a great defensive interior player that the Chiefs absolutely could move around. I like that. Carnell Tate over Tyson, and I think a lot of people's doing that because of injury concerns, and I'm not opposed to that. And then Arvell Reese, who by all means is probably a top 10 player in this draft, will go in the top 10, but he doesn't fit the Chiefs too well. But at number 8, I could see if he falls to us, the Chiefs could consider it. If not, you might get a hell of a draft package of somebody maybe coming up and us moving down. So that would be kind of sweet, to be honest. Okay, you guys are loving the defensive interior players. And then Falk would be the next guy. Even though McCoy and Delaney is putting up some fight over Keldrick Falk right now. They're tied at 23%. So I think Hunter and Banks. That's where we go next. So let's end the poll at Hunter and Banks. Okay, but I'm not going to put that up. We got one more poll to get through right now for Hunter and Banks. We want to decide who's the number 9 player. Is it Hunter or Banks? Who's number 9? Is it going to be Hunter or is it going to be Banks? I'm getting ready to throw it up. Hunter or Banks. I'm not going to say who I like the best, okay? I don't want to influence nobody, but here we go. Whoever you guys vote here is going to be pick number 9. And the loser's probably going to go back on the board for number 10, to be honest. I think so. So whoever loses here is still going to have a shot, because I have a feeling this is going to be pretty close to 50-50. I'm being dead serious. I think it's going to be that close. Let me know in the chat while people are voting. Should I introduce Sonny Styles, linebacker, in the top 10? I don't think I should. I love Sonny Styles, but I just don't think he's worth a top 10 pick for the Chiefs. I don't know if he's even a top 10 pick for anybody. I think top 15, you're fine. But let me know if you think I should start putting in maybe a tackle at number 9. You got Spencer Fano. You've got Francis Mauigoa. You've got all these guys. So that could be a possibility as well. I could introduce TJ Parker. I think it's a little rich for him to be in the top 10. I could introduce Kenyon Sadiq as a top 10. I think that would be borderline. I think I'd be fine if I was the Chiefs if Kenyon Sadiq was a top 10 guy. But I have a suspicion he's going to be closer to like 13 to 15. But anyways, yeah, so this is a very close one. Right now, you guys are favoring Caleb Banks over Hunter. Huh. I got to say, y'all surprising me there. You're very much surprising me with Caleb Banks over Hunter right now. I honestly thought Hunter was going to win this one. Wow. See, I learned something. You guys really like Banks, huh? I'm going to be honest. I can't get myself to be that high on Caleb Banks. I could maybe get him in the top 15. I don't know if I could get him to top 10, and definitely not number 9, but you guys love him. Okay. Cool. I like it. Love it. Hey, Gary, what's up, brother? Obnoxious says he voted Hunter, baby. Jacob Cullen says Styles is a freak. Yeah, absolutely. Sonny Styles is awesome, dude. He is awesome. Straight up. Becky says same, Mike. I guess she voted Hunter. A lot of people like Banks. Like, I don't have any problem with this. This is your guys. This isn't mine. That's why I don't really want to sway it. But look, Banks is winning. Banks won it. That's all there is to it. Banks won that. So Banks is going on the board, whether I like it or not. And I don't dislike it. This is your all's. So it's time to pick number 10 right here. And I'm going to put Tyson back on the board. I think Tyson has got to be back on the board. You still got to look at wide receiver because there could be potentially both other wide receivers gone. So Tyson, I'm going to throw back on the board. I think Keldrick Falk has to be thrown back on the board. I really do. I just think he has to be there. You got to talk about him. I'm going to introduce Kenyon Sadiq. Okay, just to get a gauge of how you guys think about Kenyon Sadiq. And I'm going to introduce a tackle. You might not love it, but I'm going to introduce Maui Goa. That's who I'm going to introduce. It is what it is. If you guys don't love it, you don't love it. But if you do, I'm going to see it. So here's who I'm going to put at number 10. I think all these guys could be deserving of a number 10. I'm scrolling down. PFF hasn't updated some things. So, like, you see Dante Moore still on the board. This dude's not even coming out. Colton Hood, Casey Concepcion, good, but I don't see him being a top 10 guy. I think we've pretty much hit everybody that could possibly make it into a top 10. I don't think Denzel Boston's a top 10 guy. Again, a lot of people would put Fernando Mendoza, but the Chiefs aren't having Mendoza in the top 10. There ain't no way. Mendoza don't even probably get in our top 100 because of Patrick Mahomes. Let's be honest. I think Kristen Miller's too early for him as a top 10. Sonny Styles absolutely could be. I think Cassius Howe, no way. Cassius Howe's starting to fall into the second round. Corner could still be, Delaney. TJ Parker, you could start making a case for right here, but I don't see it. McCoy, you can make a case for here. I definitely think Jordan Tyson's the best player on the board. If it were me, I think Jordan Tyson's probably the best player on the board. But that don't mean he's got to go right here. I'm just saying I think he would be the best player on the board. Beach was thinking McDuffie for Garrett Wilson or Devin Achane. Okay. I like him for Achane. Would I be okay trading McDuffie straight up for Achane? I actually think I would be. I think I'd like Achane more than Wilson. That's weird. But Achane would be pretty awesome in this offense. Straight up for McDuffie, you're going to get more picks out of the deal. So it would be Achane plus picks, in my opinion. You'd have to get at least maybe around late round 2. The Dolphins don't pick late, though. You might get a round 3 and Achane. I don't know if that's enough for McDuffie, though. I like it. I'd have to get more than Achane and a round 3 even. I'd probably have to get like 2 round 3s and Achane for McDuffie. That might be just me being too stingy. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I like both of those. I'd consider them. We'd have to look at how it goes. Irwin with 10 bomb, a 10 bomb super sticker from Irwin. Appreciate you, brother. And then John Hill, member for 18 months, says, happy early birthday, Steve. I turned 62 today. John, congrats on turning the big 6'2", baby, on February 5th. You and Steve are pretty close to having that same birthday. 200 people in here watching right now. We're almost done with this. If you guys don't care, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. I've had fun with you guys today. Look, it wasn't a big turnout today. I know people, it's the off season. I get it, man. But we're having fun and we're having a good time. So it is what it is. Let's look at the board. We have a 3-way tie between Keldrick Falk, Kenyon Sadiq, and Maui Goa. This is wild. Out of 4 people, we got a 3-way tie. 3 are sitting at 28%. This is insane. This is straight insane, bro. Now we're sitting at a 2-way tie between Falk and Sadiq. 38 votes. Once we get over 40 votes, I'll start thinking about closing it down. We've been going for 3 minutes. Oh, dang. It's between Falk and Sadiq. Straight up. The next vote's going to win this thing. The next vote's going to win it. But yeah, man, you guys hit the like button. I'm going to post this up. I'm going to put this up on X. If you don't follow us on X, at All Chiefed Up, go follow us over there. Retweet this. Let everybody know what the ACU Cruise Top 10 Big Board looks like going into February. I think it's awesome. I'll put it on Facebook too. If you follow us on Facebook, go find us there. All Chiefed Up. We put a lot of stuff up there on Facebook as well. You'll find videos. We throw up highlight clips. We'll throw up all kinds of stuff. So YouTube, Facebook, I know you guys are on X, you're on Facebook. If you're on TikTok, we're over there. If you're on Instagram, we're over there. It's just All Chiefed Up everywhere. Go find us, support us, help us grow. I'm ending the poll. I can't end the poll. I just tried to end the poll, and it's 30-30. Still 30-30. This is insane. It's Keldrick Falk or Sadiq. You guys like to tackle more than you like Jordan Tyson. I'm understanding that Chiefs Kingdom is not big on Jordan Tyson. Can you guys let me know in the chat? Can you let me know in the chat why is Tyson so far behind Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon for you guys? Is it strictly just injuries, or is there something about his game you don't like? I'd love to know that. It's 30-30, Falk and Sadiq. I can't end it. We got to get more votes. Somebody's got to vote. If you haven't voted already, just vote. I'll shut it down at 30. Let's see. I'll shut it down at 45 votes, which is 2 votes. I'm going to pass out, bro. It just went to 45 votes and we're still tied at 31. It won't end. Sammy said it's my fault for voting for Maui Goa. Sorry. Okay. I've got to end it. People are switching their votes. It looks like people are switching votes. If they can. I don't know if they can. But if not, that's great. Falk won. So Falk won at 33, but he beat Maui Goa and Tyson. So here's what I'll say. Falk goes to number 10. And I think if we had to go even further, I think Sadiq would probably be pick number 11 for you guys over Jordan Tyson's the way I'm seeing it. And Jordan Tyson might fall behind Delaney or McCoy at this point. Sonny Styles might even start to be something. But here we go, man. I like it. I'm going to export this image. I really do like that. I'll go through it one more time for you. This is what you guys said. Reuben Bain Jr. at number 1, edge out of Miami. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. Love it. Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame running back. Mekhi Lemon, USC Trojans, wide receiver. He is a stud. David Bailey, the edge rusher that might not set the edge as well as Spags would like, but you know what? Everybody's tired of it. We want pass rushers. David Bailey is number 5 on our board. Peter Woods, the versatile interior guy, at number 6. I like that. That may be a little more rich than a lot of fan bases would put Peter Woods. I even think that Daniel Jeremiah on his first mock draft had Lee Hunter higher drafted than Peter Woods. That's wild, but we love Peter Woods here apparently. Carnell Tate at number 7, Arvell Reese at 8. Caleb Banks beat out Lee Hunter and made it to our top 10. Keldrick Falk would go 10. So I think Lee Hunter, Jordan Tyson, Kenyon Sadiq, McCoy or Delaney, and maybe Styles or Maui Goa. One of those guys would probably round out the top 15 if we did top 15, but maybe we'll go ahead and add to this on the next one. Maybe we'll go through and pick 10 through 15. We'll just keep adding it up till we get to like a top 25 big board or something. I think it's kind of a cool idea, but I'll post that up on Facebook. I'll post that up on Instagram, not Instagram. I'll post it up on Facebook and X. So I appreciate you guys being with me tonight. I thought this was fun. Let me know in the chat if you like doing stuff like this. I don't care to jump on here and do this with you guys all the time. Anytime I get some free time, I don't care to come on here and do some draft stuff with you guys. I love it. I love hearing your thoughts. I love reading your thoughts. I just appreciate it. Every single person that donated. I'm getting ready to have Nightbot pick a winner. Let me get Nightbot to pick somebody right here. And it's going to be somebody on the that donated a super chat here. So Nightbot, roll that beautiful bean footage, brother. First, he's got to do the right thing. Nightbot's got to make sure. Let me make sure Nightbot's got everybody on that needs to be on. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it looks like everybody. Okay, Nightbot, roll it. Let's go. Winner. Sammy. Slamming Sammy, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Sammy. Sammy, email allchiefedup@gmail.com. Let us know your full name, your shipping address, and I'll get this playing card out to you. It's from Panini. It is awesome. Like, I actually wanted to add this to my personal collection, but you know what? I'm going to give it to you. Kelsey and Mahomes, baby. I love it. It's pretty sick, actually. So I appreciate all you guys that donated tonight. I appreciate the guys that didn't donate, the guys and the gals, everybody that helped me pick this top 10 draft board. I hope you guys like stuff like that. And look, I think we're all on board. Tyquan Thornton's got to be back in the Chiefs uniform next year, and we have to use him. We have to use them. So anyways, I appreciate you guys being here again. Love you guys. Wish you guys could have talked to Steve and told him happy birthday, but it is what it is. He'll see you guys probably over the weekend. We're going to do a members only and everything. So I'll catch you guys on the flip. You guys have been awesome. Go Chiefs.
Wow.